In today's video, I'm going to be telling you all my wants for set 4 of Gate Ruler. That's right, another children's trading card game video today. What else do I ever make? I hope you guys are excited. Please like the video. Thank you, Sundar, my semi-level supporter. Let's get started. Number 1, a release date. Ha ha ha, very funny, still no announcement. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Where is it? Number 2, let's actually get into the real stuff here. Straight through the bullshit, none of that. I want to see less superior rares. So, this is sort of maybe a bit of a weird one. Because superior rares, I think, are really cool in the sense that they, firstly, I love the whole idea of a level 4 base mechanic. Like, I think that's really good in the way that it interacted with the meta in how it was moving into set 3. I think it really did provide like a much needed sort of shake up to deck building, and you know, I think like superior rares absolutely on a mechanical level have been a positive addition to the game. However, there are a lot of them, and the pull rates were not fantastic. And I really don't want to see every single set being like 9 superior rares, 9 superior rares, 9 superior rares, because that's going to get obscenely expensive. And it's just unnecessary, right? I do not want this to turn into a game where your entire deck is just like foils. One of the most beautiful parts of this game is that it's still true even in set 3, despite how many superior rares there are, most decks actually don't play that many. And I would really like it to stay that way. I want most decks to be 1 stars and 2 stars. Actually, like, more than half of most decks are low rarity, which I think is, you know, brilliant. And I'd really like it to stay that way. So with that in mind, what I would very much like to see is something more like 5 or 6 superior rares. I think 6 is probably the sweet spot where it's a good amount, factoring in the Japanese and the English pull rates, because the Japanese pull rate is half the English pull rate, but they have twice as many boxes in a case. So what I would, and you know, certainly everywhere besides America, our boxes are also priced at double the Japanese one. So, you know, unless you live in America, which for some reason gets the hack to insanely cheap cards for reasons TM, this is what I would like to see. I would like to see that drop off in the number of superior rares, maybe 5, 1 per faction, but, you know, I'm okay with, you know, someone getting like a bonus. But certainly I would very much like to see less superior rares so that 2 things happen. 1, the fact that there are less superior rares in the game from a purely like gameplay mechanical standpoint just means that like it's less likely we're going to be like having to jam our decks full of them, right? If there's just less of them in existence, that's going to like be less likely to happen, both in terms of sort of an inevitability standpoint if they're just printing broken cards there, but also in terms of just like a game design standpoint. Like, if we look at the superior rares, actually most of them are kind of designed for like specific playstyles, specific decks. I think they are actually quite like very well designed by and large. Lucifer. Well, even Lucifer. If you haven't seen my video on that, check it out there. But yeah, so I definitely think we need to see less superior rares from a game design perspective, and then just from a purely monetary perspective. If you look at what the pull rates are in English, 4 boxes gets you a playset of everything 4-star and below, right? Which is great. At the moment, it doesn't get you a playset of superior rares. And the problem with that is basically everyone buys boxes because that's so far and away the most economical way of doing things. Like, it's literally better value than buying singles. And that's great for like the company because, like, okay, cool, they're getting box sales, right? So it's a win-win. Obviously, it's annoying if you only want to build like a couple decks, but you can just split boxes. Like, it's annoying if you're an individual, but I mean, it can be managed. It's not ideal, but I do like think it's a fairly player-friendly way because, I mean, like, you know, in the UK, I spend basically £150 a month on this game, and I have a complete master set of the game, right? So, I mean, you know, that's pretty good. So, wrapping that back around to superior rares, at the moment, you get 7 per box, including the box topper, but there's 9 in the game, which means you will never ever get a playset of everything in 4 boxes. It's just mathematically impossible. You might get a playset of some, probably won't. So, what this means is everyone's buying boxes, they get their playset of everything else, and then they just need a little bit more in terms of superior rares. But superior rares are the only things that people want to buy as singles. So it means either there's no availability at all, or the prices are going to be absolutely obscene. And I do expect the prices to grow to be obscene looking 6 months down the road when there's absolutely no availability of them anyway. I would hope to see reprints in like starters and stuff like down there. But anyway, essentially that's a result of there being more superior rares than the slots, because the problem is the whole way that the pull rates were designed for set 1 and 2 was 4 boxes gets you the playset, right? And set 3 disrupted that somewhat. So I would like to see either less superior rares. I would prefer to see less superior rares, so you don't have to boost the pull rates or anything, and like it's fine, people know what to expect. There's less superior rares, which obviously has all the game design benefits, and it also means that, okay, we don't have the secondary market weirdness. People are just happier. You get your cards. Of course, you could boost the pull rates, but again, I really would just like to see less superior rares for the reasons I've sort of outlined there. So that's the second thing, I suppose. The first thing we released it. The third thing I really want to see is more consistency. And what I mean by this is consistency in terms of just like having a consistent game plan. Because when you think about it, like at the moment, the number of decks that like have any sort of consistency, it's really just Genesis summoning. Because fundamentally, like Abyss Summon Darkness decks are still RNG focused, right? Like you still need to hit the counters to like get your big level 3s in drop, or like just get them in drop somehow, right? Like there are consistency cards like Mortanis and stuff, but I mean, you know, compared to Genesis Summon, it's, you know, it's no, like there's RNG in the pieces you get that get you to the level 3, but the level 3 is very consistent because you're directly searching it. So I would very much like to see more widespread consistency. You know, Alice got a check top 2. This is not what I want. I want to see a check top like 3, 4, or 5, if it's going to be something like that. I want to see searches, right? I want to see these free searches that add to hand, or, you know, maybe play if you want to make it accessible to drive rulers, which I do think is important as much as I hate drive rulers. I definitely do want to see more forms of consistency, so we can start moving away from this sort of RNG shit fiesta, which we definitely were in for a while. It's definitely a lot better now. And whilst there is a lot of RNG in terms of counters, I think it's a lot less egregious when there is, like, you know, you can sort of be okay with that RNG when you have agency over your game plan, right? Like, it's fun RNG if your game plan is something that you always get to do. If you are having RNG in your game plan and you're having RNG in the counters, then it can just turn into a bit of a shit fiesta, and you're like, okay, what's the point? So I definitely really want to see more consistency cards. What do I mean? Like, yeah, so searches, draw cards would be really good. More mechanics that generally like boost consistency, like top checking, or like, you know, searching and playing from deck, or or like targeted mill, for example, for the darkness. That would be really good. Those sort of things. I'd really like to see those. Piggybacking off of this, going into my fourth want for this set, I want to see a ruler that is much more skill-based than what we currently have. Wizard was in theory this ruler, but it kind of isn't. Wizard is just the ultra-defensive ruler, right? And there's a difference. Wizard, it definitely feels like the problem with Wizard is it isn't anything really special. Like, it's just the Wizard decks that are good are sort of like designed to set up for like this combo and this defensive combo, and then just do the defensive combo, right? And I think there's so much design space in terms of rulers, and I really want to see something that takes advantage of being skill-based by just removing RNG, right? Like, you know, you don't get to use counters in the sense that, like, you can play them, but you don't get the ability. I think that'd be very interesting, and you can balance that in various ways. And, you know, maybe you get the ability to turn off your opponent's counters in some way. Like, if the ruler just says, counters don't activate, but then, like, it has a bunch of, like, other restrictions that can balance that. That might not be a great idea, but, you know, certainly a ruler that lets you have a lot more agency, so you're not relying on all this RNG, I think could be really, really fun. And something I would like to see, as someone who really enjoys, like, skill-based card games with, like, less RNG, I can appreciate that RNG at the start is fine, but I really do want to see, like, us start to move towards this more skill-based gameplay, and sort of having RNG rulers in existence, and that's fine, but I would like to see them definitely be, like, weaker and something you take to a locals, not something you can take to, like, a nationals. And that's kind of where we're at the moment, but again, I do want to see less RNG even than we have right now. On that sort of top-level competitive thing. I'm not saying there shouldn't be RNG in the game. I think the beauty of Gate Ruler is in the ruler system. The fact that you have the choice, right? Like, you can put, like, they can design rulers that just appeal to every single player. That's the thing that sold me on this game. So I really want to see them take advantage of that, and us get more stuff like that. And in that same vein, I want to see some totally bullshit, like one number 5. Total bullshit, wacky insanity ruler that makes absolutely no sense. Like an alternate Wingcaller ruler, right? Like, I'd really like to see that. I don't know if we're going to get that in this set. I don't think we will. But I would really like to see some totally batshit insane ruler that just makes no sense. Like, you're just saying, like, how the hell do you build this, right? And it'll have one really, really cool build. Everyone's like, whoa, that's insane, and it's super fun to play, but if you play it too much, it'll give you, like, brain damage, and that's exactly what I want. I just want it to, like, be there, right? Like, kind of like RPS Maniac, but, like, you know, cranked up to 11. I think would just be very, very fun to exist. So that is want number 5. And my final want, not exactly related to set 4, but I really, 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 really want to see a international tournament, okay? Look, I get you're an indie game company. However, we saw there were plans for like a, what was it, like half, it was like a 500,000 yen or like 5 million yen or something. Like, it was a massive tournament like last year. It only didn't happen because of coronavirus, right? So I would really like to see them like take the fact that they, you know, the sales, I can't imagine have been so bad that they wouldn't still be able to do this. And I just want, like, I just think that a massive push to actually have tournaments happen is going to improve, like, the image for this game and the sales for this game. And with that in mind, like, hopefully the meta in set 4 is going to be great, and people want to play in tournaments, but I really want to see them actually go in for these tournaments. And I think, you know, I want to see these new starters, these EX starter decks that are coming out, be really good. I want to see these be what Zombies was promised. I want people to be able to pick up 2 copies of these decks, and, I mean, even 1 copy would be perfect, but, I mean, you know, 2 copies of the decks will allow, and it's like a tier 1.5, tier 2 deck, like, with a couple of small upgrades, and you can just, you know, you can have a really fun time at a tournament. I want people to be able to show up to a Gate Ruler Locals and someone goes, hey, grab 2 copies of that deck, you're going to have a fun time. And they do. That would be, like, ideal, because, like, the decks are good. And, you know, I'm not biased, just because one happens to be an Alice deck and I really want that to be good, but that's definitely what I want to see. And, you know, I will say also, secret want number 7, we know, the one thing we know about set 4 is it's when we're going to be getting superheroes. And if you played Akeda's previous game, you know that was a pretty nuts time when they first released. Now, I'm hoping these will come out to be more balanced, the versions we get in this set, but I definitely am really excited to see them. And I know that's definitely going to be very popular across the world. Like, people just love, like, that whole style, right? That's, you know, the Kamen Rider-esque aesthetic. So I think it would be really, really sick to get a load of those across all the factions and just, like, people just have hype shit, right? And that's basically my hopes for set 4. There's the big ones. Have I missed anything that you really want to see? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please do like this video, subscribe to the channel for more Gate Ruler content. Rest assured, the moment that shit gets announced, you'll have all my thoughts on everything they tell us. And yeah, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications when my set 3 set reviews come out. When my deck profiles finally start, when my set 3 comes here, it's still not here. And yes, that's enough for the shilling. I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.